What up, everybody? I am the Transportation Hub, and this is my channel. Now, today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be talking about the local bus route redesign plans for the borough of Queens. Okay? Now, as you all know, the MTA is redesigning every single bus network for every single borough. Okay? So far, the Staten Island Express Bus Network got theirs done back in 2018. The Bronx local routes have gotten theirs done. Service with all the redesigned routes for the Bronx local routes will go into effect, or has gone into effect as immediately of June 26, 2022. Alright. Now, the express portion of the Bronx redesign plans will go into effect at a later time, okay? But in this video, we will be dissecting every single bus route in the Queens redesign plan. Okay, guys. One more thing, right? Before we start this commentary, right? Before I start my commentary summary, right? I forgot to mention one more thing before we move on. The Q14. Yes, the Q114 is a new projected bus route, but it's not going to be the same Q14 that was discontinued from the 2010 service cuts. Okay. For those who don't know, right, the first version of the Q14, right, was operated between Flushing Main Street and Beechhurst or something like that. Beechhurst at the very least, right? Yeah, Beechhurst. Yeah, and in 2010, that route was discontinued and became a segment of the Q15 called the Q15A. Okay, now this newly proposed Q14 route will operate between East Elmhurst and Fresh Pond, replacing a segment of the Q14 bus route. Okay, and it will serve Queen Center Mall, just to let you know. Thank you and enjoy the rest of my summary. Oh yes, you guys, forgive me for the last error, right? The previous Q14, right, operated between Flushing Main Street subway station and somewhere out in Whitestone. That was the original Q14 before it got discontinued in 2010 and was replaced by every other trips on the Q15 route renamed Q15A, which went out to Beechhurst. All right, now the 7 Crosstown Select Bus Service routes, okay, which is the Q44, the Q51, no, Q44, Q50, Q51, Q52, Q53, Q50, no, Q44, Q50, Q51, Q52, Q53, Q70, and Q98, right? Now, the routes that were already select bus service routes, that was part of the Queens routes, that was already part of the New York City rapid bus transit family, also known as select bus service, were the Q44, the Q52, Q53, and Q52, right? Q44, Q52, Q53, and Q70, LaGuardia Link Q70, right? They already have off-board fare pay machines which you can use with a MetroCard, right? Now, these new proposed crosstown select bus service routes, such as the Q50, the Q51, and the Q98, which is supposed to be the select bus service route variant to the Q58, right? No fare pay machines will be implemented. Why do I say that? Is because that the MTA is working on transitioning the fare payments from Metro cards to Omni, which is also known as One Metro New York. Okay, you can pay with your credit card, your bank card. You can pay with your smartphone or watch, or you can just look for the Omni cards at your local 7-Eleven, your local pharmacy, or any cash checking place or any retail shops near you that has the Omni cards available. Okay, you can use that to purchase those and add money to your card or whatever and it's acceptable on all buses. So once when you board these buses, right, you can just tap your card on the phone on the Omni reader, right, and fare payment comes and goes just like that. All right, I tried it on the M15 and it works very well. In the event if the the Select Bus Service fare inspectors come on board, I believe you could just whip out your phone, log into your omni.info account, and look at your previous trips, and I'm pretty sure, and I'm 100% sure that you will see, for example, we rode the Q51, right? You could just look in your omni.info account, and you'll see your list of previous rides. That's where it says Q51. Q51. That's it. Q51 Select Bus Service. That's it. But all these routes will be on board. If anything, I honestly think that this Queens redesign plan will most likely go into effect at least until after Metro cards are retired. And another thing, right? The situation with the Q44 Select Bus Service being extended out to Fordham Plaza out in the Bronx, right? I have a feeling if and when the changes resulting from the Queens local bus network redesign plan is not coming to fruition after the retirement of Metro cards, maybe most likely before, the situation with the Q54 will most likely end up at same as the situation with the BX6 Select Bus Service. Okay, why I say that is because the MTA will have to spend money to install fare payment machines on certain select stops along the proposed route, and they don't want to do that because they are moving ahead with the retirement of Metro cards. So instead of wasting money to purchase these off-board fare payment machines and installing them on stops, they're just gonna hold back on the extension with the BX6 and let it keep on serving until the retirement of the Metro cards and transition from Metro cards to Omni, and they can work things out from there. Same thing I would expect with the Q44 Select Bus extension. Okay, they would hold off on, they will possibly hold off of the extension of the Q44 Select Bus Service into Fordham Plaza until the retirement of Metro cards, at the very least, right? And another situation I want to talk about is the Q52 and the Q53 Select Bus Service. Okay, the Q52 Select Bus Service will be extended northbound from Queens Center Mall to the Jackson Heights Roosevelt Avenue subway station, while the Q53, on the other hand, will be shortened from Woodside 61st Street 7th Train Long Island Railroad stop to the Jackson Heights Roosevelt Avenue station stop. Okay, that will go into as planned because the TA can easily remove the Select Bus Service fare payment machine for the Q53, no problem there, and the Q52 can be extended up from Queens Center Mall to Jackson Heights because of the fact that there's already Select Bus Service machines along the Q53 stops that are heading northbound to Woodside. Oh, and service between Woodside and Jackson Heights will be provided by the 7 train, the Q32, and the LaGuardia Link Q70 Select Bus Service. Well, either way, you could just take the Q70, which is free, by the way, until further notice. Until Governor Kathy Hochul and transportation officials can find the best transit alternatives to get people to and from LaGuardia Airport. That's the reason why the Q70 Select Bus Service is free, ladies and gentlemen. The reason why the Q70 Select Bus Service is free, the LaGuardia Link Q70 Select Bus Service is free, because Governor Kathy Hochul is coming up with plans or solutions of some sort to come up with the best transportation alternatives to get people to and from LaGuardia Airport. Okay. Oh, and another select bus service route that I would love to talk about is the proposed Q50 Select Bus Service, which will operate between the Bronx and LaGuardia Airport. If you have not known, for months on end, or at least for a year or so now, I've been advocating for Bronx Select Bus Service access to and from LaGuardia Airport. I wanted it to be the BX55 via the RFK Bridge, via 3rd Avenue, and all that stuff, right? But according to this redesign plan, we are going to get that in the form of the Q50 Select Bus Service. Okay, I'm going to read this to you. Okay, as you all know, it'll start its service from the Pelham Bay Park 6 train station. Oh, and don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, to, as mentioned in the Bronx redesign plan for the Q50, right? Okay, for the Bronx redesign plan, right? The Q50 will terminate at the Pelham Bay Park 6 train subway station at all times, except during rush hours, where it's extended all the way up to Co-op City. To Co-op City, the Ash Loop, the Dreiser Loop, whatever loop that's served in Co-op City, it'll go there during rush hours only. Okay. Other than that, it will terminate at Pelham Bay Park 6 train station. That's for the Bronx redesign plan for the Q50. The Queens redesign plan for the Q50, however, will be a bus rapid transit Crosstown select bus service route. All right. So it'll operate from the Bronx, like I said, alongside with the Q44 select bus service. It will operate along the Bronx Whitestone Bridge. Okay, performing its regular routes. All right, and then it will replace the Q48. It will replace the Q48 bus service. Okay, to and from LaGuardia Airport. But here's the thing, right? It'll go through Flushing, be extended beyond down south from Flushing Main Street to LaGuardia Airport. Okay, it will serve Metz Willits Point on Seaver Way, at Tom Seaver Way, right? And then it will hop on the RFK Bridge. No, sorry, not the RFK Bridge. Sorry, it will hop on the Grand Central Parkway to go to and from LaGuardia Airport. Okay, same thing heading northbound. Go through LaGuardia Airport, hop on the Grand Central Parkway, I believe. Yeah, the Grand Central Parkway. Get off at the Main Street. No, get off the Roosevelt Avenue City Field exit. Serve Metz Willits Point, Metz City Field. Go through Flushing. Go through Main Street. Go through downtown Flushing. Hop on the Whitestone Bridge and go up to Pelham Bay Park 6 train station, and during rush hours go all the way up to Co-op City. That will be the proposed Q50 select bus service route, and it'll operate 24 hours a day. Yes, y'all. The next route that I want to talk about real quick is the proposed Q51 select bus service route. Now, for the longest, I have been waiting for a bus service to operate along Linden Boulevard, west of Merrick Boulevard. And no, I'm not talking about the X63 during peak rush hours. No, I'm talking about a legitimate bus route, and we're going to see that with this Q51 select bus service. Okay, it gives residents along Linden Boulevard. If you look at this route, it's completely a Linden Boulevard Crosstown route. You see, because it will serve Cambria Heights, St. Albans, Jamaica, South Jamaica, and South Onslow Park, believe it or not. South Onslow Park, believe it or not. Along the entire Linden Boulevard Crosstown route, and I'm excited for this route, and I can't wait for this route to come into fruition. Now, if you guys remember the very first draft plan, right, before the COVID-19 pandemic happened, right, you will see that this particular route was labeled as a QT7 route, Linden Boulevard, previously Q4 and Q89. So the Q89 is back in some sort of way or form, but it's better and revitalized. And not only that, it serves the Long Island Railroad Station stop at St. Albans. Well, just blocks away from it, because it's not going to stop at the Long Island Railroad stop. It's going to make a stop at Linden Boulevard and Farmers Boulevard. You best might have to like walk towards or walk back to the St. Albans Long Island Railroad stop. All right, that's that. And it will also serve the A train on Rockaway Boulevard, because it's going to be a crosstown route, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, it will operate between Cambria Heights, 235th Street, Linden Boulevard, and the Gateway Mall in Brooklyn. It's going to be a 24-hour service route. A 24-hour service route. And if you see Gateway Mall, like there's a lot of houses. There's a lot of residents near Gateway Mall. If you know where all the buses converge at, you know where all the buses congregate at, near along that mall strip, right? Where there's J.C. Penney, Burlington, Skechers, BurgerFi or Burger Mania, whatever some type of burger shop, right? You will know that there's the Q13 right now, the Q8, and the B83, right? The Q8 will no longer serve Gateway Mall. In fact, it will terminate at the New Lots Avenue 3 train station, and its replacement will be discussed later on in the Brooklyn Bus redesign plan. Okay, the Q51 will serve Gateway Mall at all times. It will, believe it or not. It will serve Gateway Mall at all times. It'll operate Cambria Heights at all times. And this is very good for riders along Linden Boulevard, because at least you don't have to waste your time on the Q4, take the Q4 all the way out to downtown Jamaica, and you have to wait for the Q8 just to take you to Gateway Mall. When you can just simply, same thing goes for the riders along Merrick Boulevard, the Q5, Q84, and Q85. You guys, you strap hangers can literally take this bus to Merrick Boulevard and Linden Boulevard, or if you're Q4, and if you're a rider on Linden Boulevard, you could just simply catch a Q51 wherever it stops at, okay? And you can catch a one right seat. You can catch a one right seat to Gateway Mall. You can literally do that. You can seriously do that. I guarantee it. Alright? So that's too much I have to say about that. So let's go on with my full-on summary in regards to the Queens Bus redesign plan. Alright, you guys, looks like you guys are done going over the projected bus routes for the Queens local bus redesign draft plan. So now it's time for my summary. Now, overall, I believe that the draft plan for the Queens local redesign bus routes is perfectly a good plan. It is a good plan, okay? It consists of 35 local 35 local bus routes, 27 rush bus routes, 16 limited bus routes, and 7 crosstown bus routes, okay? Now for the interborough, right? There's 17 interborough bus routes in total, right? There's going to be 7 local, 5 limited, 1 rush, and 4 crosstown select bus services in total, right? Now, the one main thing in particular, right? When this local Queens bus route redesign plan comes into fruition, right? The Q54 Select Bus Service, right? They would have discussed this in the Bronx Redesign bus plan, but I guess they want to save it for Queens. The Q44 Select Bus Route, right? It would be extended from the Bronx Zoo, East 180th Street and DeVoe Avenue to Fordham Plaza. Okay? It would connect Queens residents and Queens riders not only to the Long Island Railroad stop, but to two other Bronx Select Bus routes such as the BX40, the BX12, and the BX41 Select Bus Services. Okay, and it also connects you to Metro North Railroad Fordham Station as well as Fordham University, which is a good route in my opinion. You can't deny that. Okay. And another thing, right, ladies and gentlemen? Another route that comes to mind is the newly Q51 route. Okay, for those of you who don't know, right, the Q89 used to operate on an hourly basis at least between the hours of 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. I believe. It was nothing more than a 2.0 version of the Q9, Q9A, Q89, right? It operated between South Onslow Park and the Jamaica 165th Street bus terminal via Merrick and Linden via Merrick Boulevard and west and via Linden Boulevard west of Merrick Boulevard. Okay, so it served no subway stops, no subway stations, and no Long Island Railroad stops. Okay, and because of that, it was discontinued back in 2010. Now, I have been waiting for over a decade for some route to have some bus route operate west of Linden Boulevard, because from time to time I would see some not in service buses operate west of Linden Boulevard. It will be either a JFK bus, depot bus, or it'll be Casey. It'll be what you call it? It'll be a Baisley Park bus. Either gonna go into service on the Q110 or exit service from the existing Q110. Okay, now this projected Q51 route, it's a very good route because it will easily connect Cambria Heights, St. Albans, and Jamaica residents, especially people who live along Linden Boulevard, to get to the A train, to get to and from Manhattan, or maybe to and from the Rockaways, without having to catch a bus to get to downtown Jamaica and then catch some other bus to take you to the A train, or to take you straight into Brooklyn or Manhattan, or whatever the case may be, or maybe take the bus to catch the EJ or Z trains. Okay, this newly projected Q51 bus avoids all of that. All right. And it'll also be serving Gateway Mall. It will be serving Gateway Mall. How cool is that? It's a nice route, and I cannot wait to ride it. Okay. Another route that comes into mind is the projected Q98 Crosstown Route, Select Bus Service route. Right now, as you all know, there's been word going around that Select Bus Service, or Bus Rapid Transit as another name for Select Bus Service, right, will be operating along somewhat on the Q58 route. For those who don't know, the Q58 route operates between Ridgewood and Flushing, right? There'll be a whole new route called the Q98, which will make key major stops alongside the Q58 route, which will make limited stops that are evenly more spaced than that of a local route. Okay, and it'll operate along Queens Boulevard to connect with people who need to get to the Queens Center Mall, and then it will hop on the Horace Harding Expressway to get to and from Flushing, which is really not a bad idea. That is an amazing route right there. because let's say if you're a Q58 rider and you want to get to Queens Center Mall, right? You would have to either take the Q58 and catch the and get off at Queens Boulevard, Grand Avenue, Queens Boulevard, or Queens Boulevard, Broadway, to take the MRR train, Forest Hills bound, one stop to Woodhaven Boulevard, or you have to might end up taking the Q60 bus to get to Queens Center Mall. With this newly projected Q98 route, you don't have to do that. You honestly don't have to do that. Okay? So yeah, so that's that. And another thing, right? And another route that comes into mind, right, is the newly Q7 route. Well, the newly Q7 route, which will be a streamlined path along Rockaway Boulevard from end to end, ending at Jamaica Avenue, 75th Street Elders Lane subway station under J and Z, and that's northbound, and then southbound or eastbound in Sederhurst Peninsula Boulevard near the Five Town Shopping Center. And another route comes into mind is the Q35 route. Okay, the Q35 route don't need to be on Newport Avenue. It doesn't, because there's a lot of residents along Newport Avenue. People trying to back up people try to get it. People who drive along, who residents who live along that avenue who drives with their cars, right? Try to get in and out of their driveway, and the bus stop is right there, and they can't park at the bus stop because they're gonna ticket and things of that nature, right? Rerouting and diverting the Q35 bus from Newport Avenue onto the wider road, Rockaway Beach Boulevard, is very good because it'll provide a reliable service along that western end of the Rockaway Peninsula without having to turn onto Beach 147th Street and a Newport Avenue and then back on Rockaway Beach Boulevard and all that stuff. So a direct streamlined Q35 path along Rockaway Beach Boulevard is good, right? That's good, right? And another route that comes into mind is the Q109 route, right? It has the combination of segments of the Q7 that operates between Brooklyn and Rockaway Boulevard, the Q41, which operates along Rockaway Boulevard and 109th Avenue without the crisscross turning onto the narrow roads such as 127th Street, 126th Street, and without having the need to utilize Atlantic Avenue in Queens. And the Q112 route, which terminates at Parsons Hillside and utilizes South Road, aka Tuskegee Airmen Road. Okay, that is a very good route because it provides a direct stream path along 109th Avenue, right? If you guys reviewed the maps and the information that I put out in this video, right, you would see that the projected Q109 route, right, it starts service at Parsons Hillside, then it will go onto Parsons Boulevard, left turn on Jamaica Avenue, right turn to Gariboo Boulevard, right turn onto Tuskegee Airmen Drive or Road or whatever you want to call it, left turn onto Sutton Boulevard, right turn onto Lakeview Avenue, and provides a direct stream path to 109th Avenue, Rockaway Boulevard, and it will get you to the East New York Euclid Avenue station. So no service is being lost right there. Now I'm gonna get to the unified bus routes. Okay, where do I begin? Oh, the unified Q1 route, right? The Q1 will be a unified route of both the existing Q1 on Hillside Avenue and the existing Q6 on Sutton Boulevard, which will provide a direct streamlined path without the need of buses terminating and layovering and having to lay over at the 165th Street bus terminal. Now, I don't know which riders will benefit or utilizes a route that will take them between the JFK Airport cargo area and Belrose, but okay. But it'll be a good service. it'll be a good service. We'll see. It'll be a good service. And another route that comes to mind is the Q11. Like, the Q11 will mainly serve Howard Beach, which is good because local service along Rockaway Boulevard, in my eyes, is not really that frequent. Because I seen service on Woodhaven and Crossway Boulevard numerous times, and the local service along Woodhaven Boulevard is extremely inefficient. Extremely inefficient. And terminating and turncoating the Q11 at the Rockaway Boulevard station is very good. It's very good. On the top of that, that route runs every 30 minutes. When, especially the fact when riders who don't have to wait for the bus can utilize the Far Rockaway, or Rockaway Park bound A train, which the bus route runs parallel along with, right? Only stopping at Woodhaven, only stop where the A train only stops at Aqueduct Racetrack, but northbound service only. Aqueduct North Conduit and Howard Beach JFK Airport. Because remember, the Q11 serves Howard Beach and Old Howard Beach, which the turncoating of the Q11 from Woodhaven Boulevard will allow the Q21 to become the primary local bus route along Woodhaven Boulevard, with an extension of up north, replacing the Q29 service operating to and from the Jackson Heights 82nd Street 7 train stop. Okay, without the need of having buses turncoating and or terminating at Queens Center Mall. Alright, the buses that are going to terminate at Queens Center Mall is going to be the Q88 Limited, the Q72 Local, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, and another route that comes to mind is the Q85 route. Q85 service will no longer operate to Rosedale. Customers who are wishing service to Rosedale will have to transfer to the Q5, which will serve both the Rosedale Long Island Railroad stop, the existing Q85 terminus at 243rd Street and 147th Avenue, and not only that, the Q5 will have an extension down south along Huxley Street to 149th Avenue, where the X63 buses terminate during the PM rush and also originates there during the AM time. Oh, and I forgot to tell you that the projected Q51 Crosstown bus route will start service at Cambria Heights 235th Street, where the Q4 service currently terminates at. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, just to let you know, the Q4 service will be extended out to Elmont, but it has to be in coordination with Nice Bus. So we'll see how that plays out. And routes and weekday routes that will be getting full all-day services are the Q42 and the Q48. No, Q42 and Q40. Q42 and Q26. Sorry, the Q26 will operate between Flushing Main Street and Cambria Heights, 120th Avenue. It will operate along 46th Avenue, 73rd Avenue, and then Springfield Boulevard, while the Q27 at the other hand will operate between College Point and Oakland Gardens, by the way. And the Q42 bus route will have an all-day service and will operate between Agisley Park, Sayers Avenue, and Jamaica Hospital. Okay, it will place a segment of the existing Q24 route where it operates towards Brooklyn along Jamaica Avenue and Van Wyck Expressway Service Road. That will no longer be the case, as the Q24 will utilize an existing segment of the Q41 of having it operate via Jamaica Avenue, via Sutton Boulevard, via 94th Avenue to Brooklyn, via 95th Avenue to Parsons Hillside, and providing a direct stream path to and from Atlantic Avenue there. Alright, cool. And another thing, right? Splitting, we have routes that serves two branches, and splitting them is real nice. First, we're going to talk about the Q5 and the Q86, the Green Acres Rosedale branch. Like the Q5 will be a sole proprietor service to Rosedale only, while the newly revamped Q86 will operate between Jamaica and Green Acres via Merrick Boulevard. But anyways, the proposed Q86 will resemble the existing Q5 service to and from Green Acres. Alright, the Q5 bus route will be an all-time service, an all-time 24/7 service, okay? While the Q86 on the other hand will be an all-day service. It'll provide no late night service to Green Acres. The proposed Q85, however, will provide overnight service to Green Acres, and I endorse that. The reason why being is because if you look at Green Acres and Valley Stream, right, it's fully redeveloped. Okay, you got the shopping centers, they got a supermarket, you got residency over there. Like, houses are literally over in Valley Stream, Green Acres, and a lot of riders will benefit from overnight service to and from Green Acres. Okay, let me tell you of all the shopping malls here in our area that has overnight service. Kings Plaza got that overnight service. Queens Center Mall got that overnight service. Bay Plaza in the Bronx got that overnight service. Green Acres need that overnight service. So that's that. Okay? Okay? Now, and one more thing before I wrap up my summary, right? We have another new unified route, and that particular route is the Q57. Yes, the Q57, that is a combination of the existing Q112 and the Q110 mashed up into one to create this whole new unified Q57 route. Alright, it will be a local route that will operate between Onslow Park and Floral Park without the need of two buses terminating at Parsons Hillside. Alright, alright. So that's pretty much it. And I'm gonna read to you guys the new projected routes overall. Okay, we have the new projected routes. We have the Q45. Oh, by the way, if you guys don't know, there was previously an earlier version of the Q45, which operated between Jackson Heights and Glendale. That route became a southern extension of the Q47, and the Q45 itself was discontinued back in 2011. Moving on. The newly Q51, which we discussed, the Q57. Oh, and guys, if you don't know, back in the early days, like in the 90s or way earlier than that, right? There was a Q57 route, but it operated between Queensbridge and LaGuardia Airport. That first version of the Q57 was discontinued back in May of 1991. Alright, and we got new Q61, Q62, Q68, Q73, Q75. Oh, Q75, right? Guys, did you know that the Q75 was a weekday route only that was dispatched from the Queens Village Bus Depot, and that only operated between the 165th Street Terminal, the 165th Street Terminal, and Oakland Gardens? Weekdays only? Did you know that? Yeah, true story. That route, however, became a victim of the 2010 MTA service cuts, and that route became discontinued back in 2010. So I'm happy that this route is coming back, but it's going to be a new route. Okay, this new projected Q75 route, it will be a rush route. It resembles the Q30, the existing Q17, and the Q30 in some shape or way, believe it or not. Okay, it will operate between Jamaica LIR and Queensboro Community College. Okay, it will operate along Merrick Boulevard. It will operate along Merrick Boulevard, 168th Street, Archer Avenue, Jamaica Avenue, Hillside Avenue, 188th Street, Horace Hart Expressway, just to get to and from Queensboro Community College. Alright, then next we got the Q78. Oh, by the way, you guys, the new Q78 route, right? It will be a north to south route stretching to various neighborhoods of Queens, connecting southeast Queens to northeast Queens. It will operate between I believe Bayside up north to Springfield Gardens down south of Queens via Springfield Boulevard and Bell Boulevard. Unfortunately, this projected Q78 route will not serve any subway stops, but it will serve two Long Island Railroad stations. Queens Village and I believe Arbondale, somewhere up there. Yeah, Arbondale. Okay, yeah, Arbondale, right? So it was providing service to Hempstead, West Hempstead, Long Beach, Ronkonkoma branches, whatever branches that stops at Queens Village, please don't come at me. And the Arbondale station, which is served by the Port Washington branch. There we go. Then we have the Q80, the Q82, Q86. Oh, by the way, there was an earlier version of the Q86 route. It used to operate between the Rosedale Long Island Railroad stop and further down south in Rosedale. That route was also discontinued back in the 80s or 90s or some shit like that. Moving on. We have the newly Q98 route, the Q105, the Q109, Q115, and B53 routes. Oh, the B53 routes, right? It will operate between Broadway Junction and Sunnyside, okay? Replacing Q24 service west of Broadway Junction, because the Q24 route west of Broadway Junction will be discontinued once again. Yeah, I know. 2010 service cut vibes. Yeah, I know. But the newly projected B23 will provide service west of Broadway Junction, and it will operate through Williamsburg, and it will serve the B, and it will operate along the existing B32 route, and it will serve some segments of the B24 route as well to get to and from Sunnyside. Alright, and that's that. And that will be the newly projected routes. Oh, and by the way, more information about the B53, changes to the B62 and the B57 will be discussed in the Brooklyn Redesign Plan. The two Brooklyn routes, the B62 and the B57, right? The only difference is that the B57 will provide service along 69th Street in Queens and Roosevelt Avenue, where the B47 will no longer operate along that to get to and from Jackson Heights Roosevelt Avenue. And on the southern end, the B57 service will terminate in downtown Brooklyn, and the projected route will operate 24 hours a day. So more information in regard to that particular route will be discussed in the Brooklyn Redesign Plan, in the Brooklyn Redesign Draft Plan. Okay, and the B62 route will operate along 21st Street in Queens to get to and from Astoria. That's the only thing in regards to that change for Queens, right? Changes for the Brooklyn B62 route in Brooklyn will also be discussed in the Brooklyn Redesign Plan. And the new B53 bus routes will be discussed in the Brooklyn Design Plan as well. Now, we have routes that will cease to exist, okay? So we have the Q6, the Q15, Q15A, the Q20A and B, but it's okay. It'll be a unified Q20, which will only operate between Beechhurst and Briarwood, which is not a bad route because you don't need that many buses layovering at Jamaica. You really don't. Okay, and in regards to Q15A, right? The existing Q15 route will be unified along with the Q19 route to provide a path of a streamlined route between Beechhurst and Astoria. And the Q19 route will have a longer operating time. Okay. Next, we have the Q29, and then there's the Q30. The Q30, right? If you look at the redesign plan for Queens, right? The Q88 will operate as a streamlined path route along Horace Harding Expressway between Queens Center Mall and Little Neck, eliminating the need for the Q88 to go to Queens Village and make all these turns through Fresh Meadows just to get to Queens Village. Alright, and it will also be replaced by the Q75, which will serve Queensboro Community College, and it'll also be replaced by the Q31, which will be the primary service along Utopia Parkway. Alright, next we have the Q36, the Q41, the current existing Q48, right? The current existing Q48 that operates between LaGuardia Airport and Flushing will be no more. Instead, the new Q48 route will operate along Union Turnpike between Kew Gardens Union Turnpike Subway Station and Glen Oaks, but it'll be weekdays only. It will resemble the weekday service of the Q46 Glen Oaks route. Okay, as we discussed, right? Bus routes that serve two terminals and one end will be split into two routes. Because see, we have the Q5 and the Q86 along Merrick Boulevard, with the Q5 being an all-time service between Jamaica and Rosedale, while the Q86 on the other hand will be an all-day route operating service between Jamaica and Green Acres, but that will be an all-day route. Frequencies will be evenly split between those two routes along Merrick Boulevard. The same can be easily said about the proposed Q86, Q46, and the Q48 route, because the Q46 will operate between Union Turnpike Subway Station and Long Island Jewish Medical Hospital. That'll be an all-time route. And the proposed Q48 route will operate between the Union Turnpike Subway Station and Glen Oaks. Sorry, between Union Turnpike Subway Station and Glen Oaks. All right, that's that. Next, we have the Q64. Yeah, the Q64, right? That route will cease to exist because it'll be replaced by the Q10 and the Q73. It'll be unified. The existing Q64 will be unified with the Q10 route, which will operate between JFK Airport and Electchester. Electchester? That's the name, right? Electchester? Or is it Ponomock or something like that, right? But whatever. The need to unify those two routes is a very good route because it will eliminate the need for the Q10 to terminate at Kew Gardens, and it will eliminate the need for the Q64 to terminate at Forest Hills. So unifying the two routes will be a good route. Even though I don't know anyone who will travel between JFK Airport and Ponomock, but okay, cool. Next routes to be cease to exist are the Q100, Q102, Q103, Q110, Q112, Q113, which will be the Q14 route overall. The Q114 will be a primary route that will operate between Jamaica and Far Rockaway. Moving on next. B24 and B32. Those two routes will cease to exist. But again, that information will be provided by the Brooklyn Bus Redesign Plan. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the end of my summary of the Queens Redesign Bus Plan. And for all of you that have been complaining about this route, saying you don't like a certain route, please don't complain, because it was y'all's complaining to begin with about how inadequate your bus service is that allowed the MTA to intervene and come up with all of these bus routes to begin with. Okay, some bus routes are being redesigned. Some bus routes are being unified. Some bus routes are being shortened. Some bus routes are getting extended. Some may be discontinued. But y'all asked for this. Y'all asked for it, and this is what we're getting, and that's that. Nothing you can do about it. And it will happen because this is a very good plan, and it was a lot more better than the first redesign draft plan that they released over 2 years ago before COVID-19, before the COVID-19 pandemic, before the redesign bus projects went on pause. All right, and that's all I have to say. If you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Make sure that you subscribe to the Transportation Hub YouTube channel. Follow the Hub on Twitter, Instagram. Like and follow the Facebook page because we live over there. Join the Hub's Discord server, and I love all of you guys dearly, and I cannot wait to see all of you at the next stop.